Greetings and welcome back to one and everyone as we continue our reading for Monday, December the 26th, 2020, day 107. We are going to be finishing our reading for the day with chapters 26 and 27 here in the book of 1 Samuel. And we thank God for his holy word and pray that he continues to bless each and every one of us that read his word, hear his word, seek his word, and see his word in spirit and in truth. Amen. Chapter 26 here in the New King James Version of the Bible from 1 Samuel, verse number 1. Now the Ziphites came to Saul at Gibeah, saying, Is David not hiding in the hill of Hachilah, opposite Jeshimon? Then Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul encamped in the hill of Hachilah, which is opposite Jeshimon, by the road. But David stayed in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. David therefore sent out spies, and understood that Saul had indeed come. So David arose and came to the place where Saul had encamped. And David saw the place where Saul lay. And Abner, the son of Ner, the commander of his army, the commander of Saul's army. Okay, so he saw Saul and Abner laying there. And now Saul lay within the camp, with the people encamped all around him. Then David answered and said to Ahimelech the Hittite, and to Abishai the son of Zeruiah, brother of Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul in the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with you. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and there Saul lay sleeping within the camp, and his spear stuck in the ground by his head. And Abner and the people lay all around him. Then Abishai said to David, God has delivered your enemy into your hand this day. Now therefore, please, let me strike him at once with the spear, right to the earth. And I will not have to strike him a second time. He said, the first time I do it, it's a wrap for him. But David said to Abishai, do not destroy him, for who can stretch out his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? David said furthermore, as the Lord lives, the Lord shall strike him, or his day shall come to die, or he shall go out to battle and perish. The Lord forbid that I should stretch out my hand against the Lord's anointed. But please, take now the spear and the jug of water that are by his head, and let us go. So David took the spear and the jug of water by Saul's head, and they got away. And no man saw or knew it or awoke, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep from the Lord had fallen on them. Now David, verse 13, went over to the other side, and stood on the top of a hill afar off, a great distance between them. And David called out to the people and to Abner, the son of Ner, saying, Do you not answer, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who are you calling out to the king? Are you shouting out the king like that? So David said to Abner, Are you not a man? And who is like you in Israel? Why then have you not guarded your lord the king? For one of the people came in to destroy your lord the king. This thing that you have done is not good. As the Lord lives, you deserve to die, because you have not guarded your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the jug of water that was by his head. Then Saul knew David's voice and said, Is that your voice, my son, David? David said, "It is my voice, my lord, O king." And he said, "Why does my lord thus pursue his servant? For what have I done, or what evil is in my hand?" Is what David is saying. "Now therefore, please let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord has stirred you up against me, let him accept an offering. But if it is the children of men, may they be cursed before the Lord. For they have driven me out this day from sharing in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, 'Go serve other gods.' So now, do not let my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel has come out to seek a flea, as when one hunts a partridge in the mountains." Then Saul said, "I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I will harm you no more, because my life was precious in your eyes this day. Indeed, I have played the fool and erred exceedingly." Same things he said before when David caught him in the cave and took a piece of his robe and showed him, "I could have killed you then." And he's saying it again here, "I could have killed you again." And here it is, Saul is saying the same things. "I have sinned. I don't mean you no harm. It's no beef between me and you good." Verse number 22. And David answered and said, "Here is the king's spear. Let one of the young men come over and get it. May the Lord repay every man for his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivered you into my hand today, but I would not stretch out my hand against the Lord's anointed. And indeed, as your life was valued much this day in my eyes, so let my life be valued much in the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation." Then Saul said to David, "May you be blessed, my son David. You shall both do great things and also still prevail." So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. 1 second. Of course, we know Saul is going to try to kill him again. But let's continue our reading. We're going to read chapter 27. That's going to close out our reading for the day. "And David said in his heart, 'Now I shall perish some day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape to the land of the Philistines. And Saul will despair of me, to seek me any more in any part of Israel. So I shall escape out of his hand.' Then David arose and went over with the 600 men who were with him in Achish to the son of Maoch, king of Gath. So David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, each man with his household, and David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the Carmelitess, Nabal's widow. And it was told Saul that David had fled to Gath, and so he sought him no more. Then David said to Achish, 'If I have now found favor in your eyes, let them give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you?' So Achish gave him Ziklag that day. And therefore Ziklag has belonged to the kings of Judah to this day. Now the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was 1 full year and 4 months." 1 second. Verse number 8. "And David and his men went up and raided the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites. For those nations were the inhabitants of the land from of old, as you go to Shur, even as far as the land of Egypt. And whenever David attacked the land, he left neither man nor woman alive, but took away the sheep, the oxen, the donkeys, the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. Then Achish would say, 'Where have you made a raid today?' And David would say, 'Against the southern area of Judah, or against the southern area of the Jer- Jeremielites, or against the southern area of the Kenites. David would save neither man nor woman alive, to bring news to Gath, saying, lest they should inform on us, saying, lest thus David did. And thus was his behavior all the time he dwelt in the country of the Philistines. And so Achish, verse number 12, believed David, saying, he has made his people Israel utterly abhor him. Therefore he will be my servant forever. Now, mind you, in all this time that David is going through all of this, he has been told that he will be the king of Israel. And yet he's still going through all of this. This is just kind of a lesson, a reflection, something to look at, to say that no matter what may be going on right now in your life, in our lives, if the Lord said you are to be somewhere, you are to do something, you have a destiny, a specific destiny, he's going to see to it that you complete that you do it. Amen. We thank God for his word and pray that he continues to bless each and every one of us that continues to read his word, hear his word, see and seek his word in spirit and in truth. Amen. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you.